At the beginning of the movie, we see ancient Egypt where the coronation of a new deity named Horus is taking place. Horus is the god of air. Just as Horus is about to be crowned, the desert god Set, who is also Horus' uncle, arrives. Set gives Horus a horn and asks him to blow it. As Horus blows the horn, Set's entire army appears. Before anyone can understand what is happening, Set kills Horus' father with a knife. After killing him, Set declares himself the new king and warns that anyone who does not bow to him will be killed. Upon hearing this, all the deities, as well as humans, bow down to Set. Horus, angry with his uncle, starts fighting him, and they both transform into their godly forms and fight. Set ends up gouging out Horus' eyes during the fight. Set then leaves Horus to live the rest of his life in darkness. Later, we see that Set has conquered all of Egypt and is now treating both humans and gods like animals, making it almost impossible for humans to survive. Now we see a boy named Beck meeting his childhood friend Jaya, and they both liked each other very much. However, since this time was quite old, there were not only gods but also humans who were enslaved there. Now we see that Beck's friend was also enslaved by a human. Now she tells Beck that only Horus can fix the situation here, and she also tells Beck that she knows about all the treasures and valuable items of Set, and I have a map of it, and I know that the eyes of Horus are hidden among those treasures. There, she tells Beck that you have to somehow steal those eyes from Set's army while saving yourself. We will give Horus those eyes, and in return, he will help us gain freedom from Set. Now, Beck somehow reaches the place where that treasure is, avoiding everyone's gaze. Now he sees that to reach his treasure, he will have to face many dangers because there were traps laid everywhere. Now Beck overcomes those traps with great difficulty and takes one of Horus's eyes and comes back to that girl. Set's soldiers had already arrived there and they ask Beck, "What all did you steal from that treasure?" Now, Beck had also stolen a gold item from there along with Horus' eye, so he doesn't tell them anything about the eye and says that he only stole this small golden item from there. The soldier then orders to kill both of them. When the soldier was about to kill them, Beck removes Horus' eye from there, which emits a bright light. Taking advantage of this light, Beck takes his friend and runs away from there. Now, while they were thinking that they have escaped from there, one soldier shoots an arrow at Beck's friend, injuring her badly. To save her, Beck quickly takes her to Horus' temple. Upon entering, Beck tells the horse that he has one of his eyes, but there is a condition he must fulfill before giving it back to him. Hearing this, Horus becomes quite angry that an ordinary human is setting conditions in front of a god. For this reason, Horus attacks Beck, but Beck manages to avoid his attacks every time. Now, Horus needed his eye back, so he agrees to Beck's terms. Then, Beck tells him that he must save his friend's life. Beck then brings his friend in front of Horus. At this point, Horus tries his best to save the girl, but he cannot because he no longer has the power of a god. Just then, the god of death arrives and separates the girl's soul from her body, asking her what she can offer him in exchange. Since the girl was a slave, she had nothing to offer, and so the god takes her with him. We find out here that after death, people can make deals with the god of death and take back their lives. Seeing this, Beck becomes very sad and now refuses to give his eye to Horus because, despite being a god, he could not stop the god of death. Upon hearing this, Horus becomes angry and grabs Beck. Beck, in order to save his life, gives his eye to Horus. When Horus receives one of Beck's eyes, he demands his other eye, to which Beck replies that he only had one eye. Horus realizes that he is in danger, and so Horus tells him that his friend is in the world of the dead, and that he must travel through different paths to reach the final destination, which may take a few days. Beck then makes a deal with Horus and tells him that if he can find his other eye, he will become a god and bring his friend back. They then hide Zoya's body in a safe place, and Horus decides to take revenge for whatever happened, along with finding Beck's other eye. On the other hand, Set comes to know that someone has stolen Horus' eye, and immediately orders that Horus be avenged and the thief be killed. Now, let's look at Beck and Horus again. They were climbing a mountain, and when Beck asked Horus where he was going, Horus said he was going to meet his grandfather. Now, while sitting there, thinking about his grandfather, Horus suddenly transforms and becomes a god, with his divine form, and flies into the sky with Beck, where he meets his grandfather, who was actually the god of the sun. Now, when Horus tells the god of the sun that Set killed his father and seized control of all Egypt, the god of the sun says that if he starts to resolve his son's quarrels, his attention will be diverted from his own work, and he refuses to help. Horus then takes the magical water from his grandfather, which is the same water that creates everything in the world, and returns to his world with it. But as soon as he comes to the ground, he loses his godly form, because until Horus has both of his eyes, he cannot return to his godly form. Currently, they are still in the jungle when the people from Set attack them, and Horus fights them fiercely. But in the end, one of the monsters attacks him, causing him to fall down the mountain. Beck also jumps down with him. He now saves himself and Beck with the help of his weapons. Now Horus tells Beck the reason for bringing him to the water of his grandfather. He explains that there is a pyramid in this world with a fire inside, and it is the source of Set's powers. If I pour this water into that fire, Set's powers will be greatly reduced, and I will be able to take my revenge on Set easily. Then we see two more women who Set had sent to kill Horus, and these women were very dangerous because they controlled two very large monster snakes while riding them. On the other hand, Set meets the god of love and asks him to take him to the world of the dead because he wants to have secrets beyond this world. After hearing her out, the goddess refuses to help Set and says that she will side with Horus because she loved him. This makes Set angry, and he is about to attack her when the goddess takes out a magical bangle from her hand. With the bangle, she can pull the souls of the dead to her world. Keeping the bangle, the goddess of love can keep the souls of the dead away from her. She quickly puts the bangle back on and returns to the world of the living. Horus and Beck visit an old temple, but then they are attacked by giant monsters ridden by dangerous women. The two are about to be attacked when the goddess of love arrives and destroys the monsters using her power. The three of them then head towards the pyramid where Set's powers lie. Before entering, they decide to take someone's opinion. They all go to the god of intelligence, who initially refuses to help them. However, after Beck persuades him, the god agrees to help them, and they set out on their journey. Now the goddess of love, with the help of her Kungana, arranges for Beck to speak to his deceased friend. Beck tells his friend not to worry, that he is coming to save him. They reach the pyramid, but cannot find a way inside. As soon as they place their foot on the pyramid, the entire structure starts spinning. After much difficulty, Beck manages to reach a mile and stops him by spinning him around. All the stones stop moving, and they enter the pyramid. They were moving forward when suddenly a big monster appears in front of them, and the monster asks, "Who am I?" His first riddle was that he neither exists nor will ever be seen, but every living thing believes in him, so tell me quickly who I am and what is my name. Then the god of intelligence gives a wrong answer. Now, hearing the wrong answer, the monster was about to attack them when the god of intelligence saves them by giving the answer to the master's riddle that tomorrow is the answer to your riddle. And his answer was absolutely correct, so the monster lets them go ahead. Now, upon reaching the fire, Horus was about to extinguish it with the water from his grandfather's well when they all got trapped in a trap. Then Set arrived there and revealed that it was all his plan. There, in a fit of anger, Set loses his temper and goes crazy, and pours out the water that Horus had brought from his grandfather. Now, Set takes the brain of the god of intelligence and runs away from the pyramid, causing it to collapse. But Horus saves everyone and, on the other side, Set fits the brain of the god of intelligence into his own head. Now, we see all three of them outside the pyramid where Beck was quite upset that he couldn't save his friend. After hearing his story, the goddess of love summons the god of death and asks him what price he would take to bring that girl back. The god of death says that the price is quite high. After hearing this, the goddess of love takes out her magical bracelet and gives it to Beck and sends herself back to the world of the dead. Now, taking the bracelet, Beck goes to his friend and saves him with it. Suddenly, a devil of darkness attacks them all. Let's see that Set has a powerful weapon with it, which was calling the devil of darkness to this world. Before the devil of darkness destroys this world, he attacks Set. There is a big fight between them. Just as Set was about to kill Horus, Beck arrives there and helps Horus. Beck takes out the eye of Horus from Set's body and throws it towards Horus. As soon as Horus catches the eye, his appearance changes and he gets all his powers back. Now, in anger, Horus attacks Set with his weapon and is about to kill him. Set begs for his life, but Horus doesn't listen to him and kills him. With Set's death, the devil of darkness goes back to his world. Now, Horus brings back Beck's friend. We see that Horus becomes the god of Egypt, and after becoming a god, he goes to the world of the dead to take his love, the goddess of love. The movie ends there. Let us know how you liked this movie by commenting and do subscribe to our channel.